Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, I welcome all of you devotees for today's program. And today, as you know the topic, we'll discuss on Varaha Dev. So recently we had celebrated Nityanand Trayodasi. So one day before that is Varaha Dwadashi. So the Ekadashi which follows Bhaimi Ekadashi, the next day is Varaha Dwadashi. So let us, yes, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So every day is a Mahotsav for devotees because every day we celebrate something or the other. So in Bhagavatam it is said, Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam Tadeva Shashvan Manaso Mahotsavam Tadeva Shokar Nava Shoshanam Nrinam Yad Uttama Shloka Yasho Anugiyate. So every day it's a celebration for the devotees. Okay? Because we daily chant, daily we read Prabhupada books, daily we associate with devotees, we eat prasad. Every day we do altar seva. So every day whenever we are in contact with Lord, it is a celebration, Mahotsavam. So today we'll discuss about a avatar which many people will think like how can God take such a form. So what is the form? Varaha means which form? Once Prabhu had given a nice definition, Mr. Goa. So we normally find them everywhere here, right? Varaha avatar. But then there are two kind of Varaha. One which you find in the city and one that you find in the jungle. So there are two different Varaha. So basically Krishna is unlimited. Right? So when we ask such question like how can Krishna take a form like Varaha, what we are trying to do? We are trying to limit the Lord. Right? Because Lord can do whatever He wants. Ajopisan avyatma bhutanam ishwaropisan prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya. So whenever Krishna comes, He comes by His own will. Swa Atma Maya. So if he wants to take the form of Varaha, nobody can stop him. So similarly there is another avatar called Matsya. So these are all creatures like fish, then boar. These are very abominable species in material sense. Right? If you are passing by, you want to go to the temple and suppose a pig touches you by mistake, immediately what we'll do? We'll either go home and take bath or else we'll cancel because we feel we are now polluted. So it is so contaminated is the species. But then we cannot compare that same Varaha or the boar with the incarnation which Lord takes. Because when Lord takes any form, it is transcendental to the three modes of this material nature. It is not the Varaha that we see in this material world. Okay, because when Lord came, like he was looking so brilliant. There was so much effulgence. He was wearing that Kaustubha Mani. So when first Brahma saw and the other, so everybody was first perplexed. What is this creature? Is it some Daitya or some? But then when Lord started roaring, then they felt very happy that they could understand that this is some divine personality. So this is how it is. So we have to understand whatever Krishna does, it is all divine. Janma and karma of Lord is divine. Okay, and similarly, like I started saying that for us every day is a Mahotsav, and similarly for Krishna, it's a festival when his devotees glorify him. So when we all come together and glorify Krishna, then it is a Mahotsav for Krishna. So one day what happened, we all know this creation took place. Brahmaji was the first created being, and from his just by thinking he created 4 Chatur Kumara, and he told them, my dear son, you all take the creation ahead. But they said, no, we don't want to fall in all this Grahastha ashram, so we will become brahmachari, we will join the ashram. So they said, they denied. Then Brahmaji got very angry because I am the father and you all are not listening to me. So out of that anger, I tried to control that anger, but out of that anger, from his forehead came Shivji. So again Shivji also said, that time he was not married, he was looking for a match. So Shivji was also, and then he created Sapta Rishis. So they also said, we won't take part in creation. Basically Brahmaji wanted the progeny to take place, and finally he created the first Manu, that is Swayambhuva Manu. So and from his one side came Swayambhuva Manu, and other side came Shatrupa, who was supposed to be the wife of Swayambhuva Manu, and they agreed. So they said, yes father, whatever you say will follow. You want us to create progeny, we will create. But then he said, after we get married, we should stay somewhere, right? We know, like whenever there is a proposal, when a girl goes to see a boy, they first see how is the house, whether he has a job, what kind of job, private, government, right? All this. So similarly, it is all coming from our Vedic tradition. So he said, if I get married to Shatrupa, so we require a place to stay. So Brahmaji said, okay, don't worry. And he just looked down below and he saw that below planetary system was missing. Earth was missing. So what happens, whenever Brahmaji's day is over, okay, 12 hours of Brahmaji is day. So when that is day is over, there is a partial annihilation. So what is partial annihilation? Earth and planets which are below Earth, they get submerged in water. So in previous kalpa, means one day of Brahmaji is called a kalpa. So now this is a new creation which is taking place. And it is said, normally the Tithi is this Gudi Padwa which we celebrate, no? That is the day actually Brahmaji always begins his new day. So whenever we celebrate Gudi Padwa, so that is, so Brahmaji's new kalpa had just begun. It was the first day of his creation, and he saw that after what happens after the creation begins, the earth and all planetary system, the water recedes and they are in their orbit. But for the first time what happened, that earth planet had somehow lost its orbit and it had fallen in the Garbhodaka ocean, which is below. So he said, my goodness, I did not even came to know that the earth is missing. So he was thinking now, like it's a big task, how to get it back. And first of all, you have to find out where it is. So he started thinking and praying. So basically, even all the demigods, whenever they are in trouble, they also pray. Right? We pray to demigods, right? But they also have problems where they have to pray. And they pray to the Supreme Lord. And as he was praying and thinking what should be done, what is the way out to get the earth back. So what happened? A small creature came out from the nose of Brahmaji. And it was of the size of a thumb, it is said. This top tip of the thumb, no? It was that small when it came out. And it came out and it started growing big, and it actually took a shape of a mountain. So many times we might ask, like Acharya say, that why did Varaha Dev appear from the nose? Matlab, there can be any way he could have just appeared, right? Why he had to appear from the nose of Brahmaji? So it is said Varaha Dev is a personification of Vedas. And how are the Vedas given? How does Lord give the Vedas in this material world? The knowledge? Just by breathing. Krishna doesn't have to write, or he just breathes. So when he exhales, the entire Vedic knowledge is given. And how it is transferred to Brahmaji? Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavai. So when he exhales, that entire Veda, the knowledge goes to Brahma through his heart. So again, now since Varaha Dev is the personification of Vedas, so it was by exhaling, right? So again, that same Lord is coming through the exhale of Brahmaji. So that is the reason why he is coming out from the nose of Brahmaji. The same Vedas now are coming out in the form of Varaha Dev. And when he comes out, the first thing he does is, what is like a feature of boar? There are two creatures who have got very strong smelling sensation. One is boar and one is a dog. So their smelling sensation is very, very strong. So now he has to find out the earth. So what he does, he starts, the moment he comes, all this created beings like Brahma, Shivji, Saptarishis, Kumaras, they get very scared. But then when Varaha Dev starts roaring, so when he starts roaring, it creates a kind of auspiciousness. So like we know in Mahabharata also, there was Duryodhana's party and there was Pandavas. So it is said when Duryodhana party blew the conch shell, it did not create any positivity, right? In fact, when Pandavas blew the conch shell, all the Duryodhana and party, their heart, it was like they felt that they're going to lose. So this is how it is. When there is positive roar, that is when definitely Varaha is Lord himself. So when he started roaring, Brahmaji understood. So this personality is not some ordinary personality, but his Lord himself who has come to now help me and restore the earth. And Varaha Dev, with his nature of he was acting like the way the boar act. So he started smelling. So that's the reason it says su. Su means the way they make the sound of smelling. So he started finding out where is earth, and he started smelling, because earth is very fragrant. Because there's so much, if you see during the rainy seasons, when the first rains fall, there is a aroma, right? Fragrance that comes from that earth. So similarly, the Varaha Dev started trying to find the earth. He started smelling where it is, and he went deep into the Garbhodak ocean. And when he went into the Garbhodak ocean, he found that earth was submerged there. And on his tusk, so because it is a boar, like the one which we find in the jungle, they have tusk, right? So on the tusk, he kept the earth and he brought it almost on top of the water. That's the reason it is said that earth, Bhudevi, is wife of Varaha Dev. Okay? This is how the connection, and because of the contact of Varaha Dev and Bhudevi, there was a child that was born. Anybody knows the name? Bhaumasur or Narkasur, whichever name you like, you can. So it is because of that's the reason it is said whenever we get up in the morning, there's a small prayer which we should always chant. It is said, prayer is Samudra Vasane Devi. Why Samudra Vasane Devi? She was fallen in that Garbhodaka Samudra and Lord. So Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatastana Mandale. So when Lord actually kept her on his tusk, it was like a big mountain keeping a small. Then Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam Padasparsham Shamasvami. So when we walk on the earth, we actually walking on Bhudevi. So normally people, our olden people, when they get up early in the morning, they first touch the earth, right? and then they chant this. Okay, let us all chant, because हम लोग भी अभी पाँव रखे हैं. So समुद्र वसने देवी पर्वतस्तन मंडले विष्णु पत्नी नमस्तुभ्यं पदस्पर्शन क्षमस्व मे. So let us every day when we get up and when we touch the earth, let us pray this. At least let us show some etiquette. My dear Bhudevi, I have to walk. We are not Yudhishthir Maharaj, who used to always be above the earth, right? Or now we are having any mystic power where we can float, right? So, which would have been nice, no? If you could have floated in the air, right? So we could have gone to Kumbh Mela ekdam and come back also floating. No need to walk also. So let us, so this prayer we have to offer. So, so as he brought, okay, and this description is now being discussed by, in the third canto, Maitreya Muni and Vidura is having a discussion. And Maitreya Muni is explaining to Vidura, because Vidura, when during the Mahabharata war, when he went on pilgrimage, so what happened? He did not want to take fight because he was against, like Balramji also didn't take fight. So he was just doing Brahman, and that time he met Maitreya Muni. And with Maitreya Muni, when two sadhus meet together, what they will discuss? Like Prabhupada says, when two drunkards meet together, what they will discuss? आज क्या पिएंगे? कितना पिएंगे? तो उसी तरह when two drunkards are not drunkards, sorry, when two sadhus meet, they will always talk about Krishna, right? So he said, Maitreya Muni, please tell me the different glories of. So Maitreya Muni is explaining. And suddenly Maitreya Muni says, and that time Hiranyaksha, a demon called Hiranyaksha, came and challenged Varaha Dev. Now see, Vidura is listening very, very attentively. So he said, my dear Maitreya Muni, where did Hiranyaksha came from suddenly? When you started, you said that because of the pralaya, Anshik pralaya, because of the partial devastation, the earth had fallen in Garbhodak. Now where did Hiranyaksha came from suddenly? So which means Vidura was very attentively listening to the entire conversation. And that time, Maitreya Muni says, actually there are two Varaha which comes. Okay, like Krishna only comes once in a day of Brahma. So similarly, Varaha Dev comes twice in a day of Brahma. Vamana Dev comes thrice in a day of Brahma. Some of the devotees comes once in a year when we have program. Okay, usi tarah. Some devotees come, so they are all following this tradition. Okay, so and some devotees come regularly, which is very, very nice. So here he says, Varaha, there are two Varaha. Now current what you call Kalpa, it is called Shweta Varaha Kalpa. This Kalpa which is going on, no? It is called Shweta. So the first Varaha which came was white in color. It is white color. So it is called Shweta Varaha. And what Maitreya Muni did, he just mixed both the what you call adventure. The second Varaha which will come is he comes in which Manu? In the Chakshusha, the sixth Manu. It is said in the day of Brahma, a day of Brahma has 1000 Chaturyuga. How many? 1000. And 1000 Chaturyuga is divided among 14 Manu. Kitne? 14 Manu. So one Manu has 71 Chaturyuga. So this first Shwet Vara came in Swayambhava Manu. Okay, and he fell down from the orbit in the Garbhodak ocean, and the Lord came and picked him. And the second one, where now Hiranyaksha's description is happening, he is actually called Neela Varaha or Rakta Varaha. Okay, so there are two Varaha which come in the day of Brahma. Krishna comes only once in a day. Vaman Dev comes 3 times. So there are different incarnations who come according to the requirement. But Krishna comes only once. He is very busy person. उसको कितना भी बुलाएंगे वो नहीं आएगा. So he just came and went just recently, 5,000 years back. And when Krishna comes, that preceding Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, which he just came and went 500 years back. So very, very fortunate. Just we have taken birth when just Krishna has come and gone, and Mahaprabhu has come and gone, and we have witnessed this 144-year Kumbh Mela also. So we are all very, very fortunate people. We are witnessing all these auspicious things. That time, Maitreya Muni says that it is basically what happened, that the Hiranyaksha Varaha came in Chakshusha Manu. So then he starts to explain him about why Hiranyaksha came. So then the story begins like this. So once Kashyapa Muni, okay, who was married to his wife called Diti. So what happened one day, Diti was overcome by lust. It was Sandhya. Sandhya is a time when it is neither day or neither night. It is almost the twilight when Hiranyakashipu was killed, right? So there are always 3 Sandhyas in a day. So during the time of Sandhya, Diti was overcome by lust, and she already had Kashyapa Muni had almost 13 wives, and everybody had children, and it was only Diti who did not have a child. So she said that she went to Kashyapa Muni, and Kashyapa Muni at Sandhya time, it is said 4 things should not be done. One is eating, sleeping, mating, and studies. Now this studies means like homework and all. So children will be very happy. Okay, so 4 things should not be done: eating, mating, eating, mating, and studying. We can chant Hare Krishna, we can do all spiritual activities, no material activities. So it is said, if you are sleeping during Sandhya time, that time you will either have bad health or your age will be reduced. Okay, so one thing, if you sleep. Eating, again, that eating will not give you nourishment. Okay, it will be like a poison to you. Like even if you are eating the best hamburger from whichever company, vegetarian also, it will not give you nourishment. So third, you should not mate, because what is happening at Sandhya time? Who is roaming around? Yeah, Shivji is roaming with his Bhoot and Pretgan, and is looking, kahin milta hai kya koi? And he puts that in the womb of such people, because Shivji wants to give them, all these people who are in, who have not got body, who are still Pret, it is very, very difficult. So that's the reason suicide, it is a very, very dangerous act, when you are given a certain duration of life you are supposed to live 100 years, suppose, and at age of 50 you say, वो मुझे छोड़ के गया, ये मुझे छोड़ के गई, मेरा जीवन का कुछ, and you commit suicide. That 50 years which you are supposed to live, you have to now live in a Pret body, because until you complete that duration, you will not get a body. So even if you see Vedic, suicide is very, very abominable. Kabhi nahi, you have to face the world. So Shivji is roaming with all his Bhuta and Preta. He is very, very merciful. Whoever is rejected, Shivji accepts. So when you mate during such a time, and fourth is Swadhyay. Like even if a child is sitting to do his homework or studying, he will not be able to remember, memorize, nothing. But spiritual activities you can do in full vigor. You can chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavatam, because 24 hours, Lord has said 24 hours. So 3 Sandhya also. So it is applicable for entire 3 times, like early morning, in the afternoon and evening. So Diti, she was so much overcome by lust, like shamelessly she started pulling Kashyapa Muni. She said, no, you have to satisfy now only. And Kashyapa Muni said, are you gone mad? What is wrong with you? It is not a good time. But by the will of providence, what happens? It is said man is like a butter and a woman is like fire. So he couldn't, then he gave it in and they mated. And after it happens, then they realized, Diti also realized, and she actually apologized to Kashyap Muni, because of me, even you had to get degraded. So that Kashyap Muni got very angry. He said, because of this act, you will give birth to 2 most notorious children. They will be like a curse for the entire three worlds. They will just create havoc. And when she heard this, imagine a mother coming to know that her children are going to be so bad, how it will be, right? So she then fell at at the feet of Kashyapa Muni and said, okay, I understand all this, but tell me something, will they be delivered? Will they some positivity in their life? And they finally said, your children will be so, notorious that Supreme Lord will have to come and deliver them. And that time she became happy. अच्छा, मतलब मेरे बच्चों को एटलीस्ट भगवान का दर्शन मीन्स लॉर्ड कमिंग टू किल देम मीन्स इट इज डिलीवरेंस. And then he said, and one of your grandson, he will become the most celebrated devotee. किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हो? प्रहलाद महाराज की जय. Yes. So she became even more happy. So these are the only positive thing Kashyapa Muni tells. So then now why did this we will ask, how did this entire incident take place? Okay, so it is said there were two doorkeepers in Vaikuntha planet by the name Jai and Vijay. Okay, and once what happened, four Kumaras, they wanted to go and have darshan of the Lord Vishnu. So they passed through the 6th gate of Vaikuntha, and when they reached the 7th gate, they were stopped by these two doorkeepers, and they asked for the ID card. Okay, we cannot let you in. So these four Kumaras, they got very angry. They said, how dare you even stop us? Okay, how can you think that we will come and create some trouble? So that means your mentality is not good and you are not fit to be in this spiritual Vaikuntha. So we curse you to fall down. So moment they cursed, Lord Vishnu was there in his chamber, he came running. Okay, and he actually felt very bad, and he said, these two doorkeepers, they are my servants, and since I am the master, it is I who should take the blame. So this is how the actual leader is. A leader is a person who is always takes accountability of his people under him. He doesn't say, अच्छा इन्होंने ये क्या, चलो इनको बाहर निकाल दो. So he says, and finally the entire thing is like Krishna is also like a person, and he has got different rasas. And once Krishna wanted to actually enjoy the rasa of fighting. Okay, so Krishna wanted to actually fight. And who can Krishna fight with? He should have somebody of that stature, right? That he cannot just fight with any. So this was the will of the Lord, and that's the reason this entire Leela is happening. So he told Vijay and Vijay, now that you have been cursed to take birth in the, you have two choices. Either you take birth as a saintly person for 7 lifetime, or you take birth as demons for 3 lifetimes. So they said, Lord, we want to come back fast. We don't want to spend too much time on the earthly planet. So we are ready to take birth as demons. So now Krishna agreed. So that's the reason this Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, that was the first life. Then Ravan and Kumbhakarna, second, and third Dantavakra and Shishupal. And finally in the Chaitanya Leela, they say Jagai and Madai, they happen to be the fourth. So this is how, this is the entire what you call background of the Aditi is getting. So it is not that it is just happening. There's a lot of Lord's will and sanction. So when Lord wants to fight, he creates people of that stature with whom he can fight and actually enjoy that Virya Rasa. So this is how, and Diti, actually when she came to know that these are the demons that are going to born for 100 years, she kept her in the womb. Kitne saal? 100 years. So 100 years, and the entire earth, it is said, it is described that the entire world was dark. That was the effect of Hiranyakashipu. In the 3rd canto, victory of, you all can, when you all go home, you all can read this 3rd canto. These are these chapters. From 13th chapter, it all starts. So So they created so much. Yeah, see, the ocean with high waves. So whenever there is bad omen, no, there are signs. So here it is given description. The ocean with high waves wailed aloud as if stricken with sorrow, and there was commotion among the creatures inhabiting the ocean. The rivers and lakes were also agitated. The lotus withered. The jackals in the interior of the village, she jackals yelled. Even when we see the dogs, right, at night, they make sounds. Actually, they are able to see the Pret Atmas. Okay, so that's the reason whenever dogs create different sound, people feel it is very inauspicious. So they feel kuch galat to nahi hoga, and it is reality. So whenever we see dogs barking in a different way, no, people get scared. Because anything can happen in anybody's house, right? We also could be one of them. Raising their necks, dogs cried here and there, now in the manner of singing and now in wailing. So in this way, there were a lot of frightened by the braying of the asses. Even the asses started making noise. Birds flew shrieking from the nest, while the cattle in the cowshed as well as in the woods passed dung and urine. Cows, terrified, yielded blood in place of milk. Now, they are still not born, they are in the womb of Diti. And these are the things which are happening, which is giving a sign of their appearance. Cows, terrified, yielded blood in place of milk. Clouds rained pus. So, barish kiska ho raha tha? Pus. The image of the gods in the temples shed tears, and the trees fell down without a blast of wind. So, without even wind, the trees started falling down. So ominous planets such as Mars and Saturn shone brighter. So Mars, Saturn, like Shani, they were shone brighter and surpassed the auspicious ones. So there are some planets which are considered auspicious and some are considered inauspicious. So auspicious planets were actually, the inauspicious planets started shining more than the auspicious one. So all these things were happening. And finally, after 100 years, she had kept them in the womb. She gave birth to Narsimha Dev and Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So some people say that when in the Garbha, first Hiranyaksha was put and then Hiranyakashipu. But when delivery happened, first Hiranyaksha came and then Hiranyakashipu came. So both are twins, and some say Hiranyakashipu is big elder and some say Hiranyaksha is elder. So it doesn't matter. So that way. And Hiranyaksha, when he came, he was just, his hands were itching. He just wanted to fight. Anybody he met, he wanted to fight. So he went to the Swarga Loka and he met all the demigods. And when the demigods saw him, they came to know, like, this person is somebody who is very, very dangerous. So they said, no. They submitted to him. He said, we are not fit for fighting with you. You please, you can leave from here. You can see anybody else. So is tarah se he went to Brahmaji. And finally he met Narad. And Narad Muni is very smart. So he said, my dear Hiranyaksha, you are so strong, you will defeat us like this only. So you won't enjoy. If you really want to enjoy, I've heard there's a person who is very, very powerful, who can give you very good, who can actually match you for a fight. And I've heard he's somewhere in the Garbhodok ocean. And he will give you. And that time also what had happened, Earth had actually fallen from the orbit. The first time when it fell, it was doing Swayambhuva Manu. And now second time again. But here some acharyas say, after Hiranyaksha came, he started plundering all the gold which was there in earth. So he plundered the entire, wealth, which was all the minerals, all the gold. And finally he thought that is still so much, so he hid. Like he is a robber, thief, no? So what he did, let me hide it somewhere. And that's how he removed the earth from its orbit and hid it in the Garbhodok ocean. So and here Varaha came to rescue the Bhudevi. So that time he came to know, so maybe this person who is come, he is also come to plunder the earth. So what he does, Hiranyaksha, he goes in search of this Varaha. And when he goes in search of Varaha, actually Varaha again has lifted the earth, placed her on its tusk, and is coming on top of the water. And the moment he comes on top of the water, here Hiranyaksha is already ready to fight with Varaha. And he starts giving all bad words at Varaha. It is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. I'll just read. So, and these words actually give Krishna. Varaha really gets pained by this word. When the demon saw personality of Godhead who had eyes just like lotus petals standing in position before him, armed with his Sudarshan disc, his senses were overpowered by indignation. He began to hiss like a serpent and bit his lip in great resentment. Okay, so here he starts giving lot of bad words to Varaha. And Varaha actually feels very bad. And Acharyas explain to us why Krishna or Varaha got pained. So normally what happens, since we are under the modes of material nature, when somebody praises us, we feel happy, and somebody talks ill of us, we feel bad. So now we might think even Varaha also aisa hai kya matlab. But here Acharyas explain, when Hiranyaksha started abusing Varaha with all the bad words, he actually felt bad, because if he insults me or he offends me, then this person will always be in the material world for eternity. If you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why did he take sannyas? Because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, after coming from Prayag, after doing his father's Shraddha and accepting a guru, he actually started his devotional service. And he was so much absorbed, sometimes he would call out like Gopi, Gopi. He would go in the Vrindavan pastimes. And the normal immature Brahmanas who are of similar age, they used to come and tell Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that what are you doing? Are you mad? You should chant Krishna, Krishna. And that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to actually come out of Samadhi, and he used to get angry, and he used to go after them to beat them. And then what these Brahmanas used to do, they used to go in Navadip and tell this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit is gone mad. He is chanting Gopi's name and all. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I've come here to deliver these people, and if these people offend me, if not understanding who I am, then they will actually, instead of getting delivered, they will again go deeper in hell. And then he decided that sannyasi is somebody who is respected in society, right? Any sannyasi is respected. So let me take sannyas. So only by that then they will be delivered. So similarly here Varaha, when it is mentioned here that he was really pained, he really felt bad by the abusive words of Hiranyaksha. It is not like us that Lord under the mode of material nature is feeling bad. Here it is said he was pained because if a person offends him, then there is no chance of his deliverance. So see how much Krishna or Lord thinks about us. Even when we commit sinful activities, Krishna is always feeling pain because we are his children. So, and one thing is sin and one is aparadh. Sins, it is said, it is like a dust on the stone. When we commit sinful activities, it is dust on the stone. So dust on the stone can be easily, you put some water or you just use a cloth, it will. But aparadh is like a mark on the stone. So if there is a mark on the stone, can you remove it? No. So that's the reason always when we do aparadh, and biggest aparadh is Vaishnava aparadh. So when we offend a Vaishnava, like sin, you can atone. Krishna will forgive you. But aparadh, it is like very, very big mistake that we do. So that's the reason Varaha really felt bad. And at the same time, Bhudevi, Earth planet, was on the tusk, and she also got very scared. Who is this person who is abusing my husband? She felt very bad, and she started trembling. So now Varahadev said, let me first take care of this Bhudevi, let me keep her properly in a safe place, and then let me battle with Hiranyaksha. So what did Varahadev do? By his mystic power, by his power, he just made the earth so soft that she started floating on the Garbhodak on top of the water. So he did not keep her in the orbit, he just kept her on the water only, but she was floating. And when she was floating elsewhere, that time the fight between Hiranyaksha and Lord Varaha began. And it went for almost, and Brahmaji, all the demigods are saying, my dear Lord, just kill him. But Krishna, Varaha Dev or the Lord wanted to have a proper fight, right? So if he just kills, then he will not enjoy. So this fight went for a very long time. Though it was like actually Lord was playing with Hiranyaksha, and Hiranyaksha was thinking that I am having a very strong opponent and I am giving him a tough fight. But it was basically Krishna or Varaha Dev in form of Krishna in the form of Varaha was fighting or enjoying with Hiranyaksha. And finally, you know how he killed? He just with his hind legs, because Varaha is now a boar, right? With his hind leg, he just tapped on his ears, on the left ear, and with that he just fell, and all the blood which was there, it came out and it fell on Varaha Dev. That's the reason he's called Rakta Varaha. Why he gets the name Rakta Varaha? So after killing Hiranyaksha, all that blood which was there, it comes on him, and that is how the entire Nila Varaha becomes Rakta Varaha. So sometime it is we call him as Rakta Varaha. So in this way, Hiranyaksha was slayed within no time. And there is a beautiful that, and when he came out of the water, he shook his entire body, and that drops of water wherever it fell, it was like made entire people purified. So it is said after we do Aarti, right, and we get that water which is thrown on everybody, it is that same that Varaha Devs, it is compared to that. Okay, so we should always take for. And then the bodies, he had these hairs, right? That kusha grass is nothing but when he shook his body again, that hair that which fell on the ground, that became kusha grass. Okay, that Varaha Dev's body, that divine body, that hair which fell down, that become kusha grass, which is considered all auspicious. So now here Bilvamang Thakur gives a very nice description. So this Varaha Dev was so huge, he was so huge that entire ocean water which is there, it is called, this half of this earth is filled with water, Garbhodak ocean. So that entire ocean also cannot fit in his body. Matlab, even that ocean water fails to occupy the entire body in Varahadev's body. So that is the huge size of Varahadev. And Bilva Mangal Thakur gives a wonderful shloka how he glorifies the Lord. So he says, see, Hare Krishna. Yad Roma Randra Paripurta Vidhava Aksha. So Yad Randra Roma means we all have pores, right? So similarly, Varahadev, he has got so many pores, and if you even put the entire ocean in his body, in those pores, still it will be, means you cannot, means the ocean water will fall short. You are understanding, right? So we say how many oceans are there in this earth planet? Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean, all this ocean. So if you collect all the water and if you try to insert it in the body of Varaha, still it will be incomplete. That water will be just, okay. So Yad Roma Randra Paripurti Vida Adaksha Varaha Janmani Bhubur Ami Samudra. So all this water, it's still, and that same Varaha in the form of Krishna, okay, he's comparing now. Tam Nama Natam Arvinda Yashoda. So what Yashoda is doing? Pani Dvayantra Jala Snapayam Babuha. So there is one Varaha Dev in whose body, if you even put the entire ocean, still the ocean water is falling short, and that same Yashoda Maya with just with palm of water is bathing that Supreme Lord. You understanding the connection here? So that is the glory of the Lord. So Lord can become bigger than the biggest and the smaller than the smallest. So एक जगह पूरा समुद्र का पानी is falling short to be filled in his pores, and that same Supreme Lord in Vrindavan, Yashoda Maya just requires two handful palms of water to bathe him. So this is the beauty of the Lord. So at one, he is so huge that he can kill Hiranyaksha also, and that same Lord becomes in his hand, in his devotee's hand, he becomes so small that she can just bathe him with two handful palms of water. So that is the beauty of the Supreme Lord. So for his devotee, he doesn't show all such opulences, and devotees are also not interested in all such opulences. The devotees are just happy to serve the Lord the way Yashoda Mai serves. She is happy to see Krishna as a small child who gets here when he rode, the entire demigods were happy, and that same Krishna in Vrindavan, that when there is thundering, he goes and hides behind Yashoda. So this is the beauty of our Supreme Lord. So that's the reason Brahma says, Janate eva janantu kim bhuktya me prabhu manaso vapuso vacho vaibhavam tama gocharam. So anybody who says, Lord, I know you completely, let them say whatever they have to say. As far as I am concerned, your fame, your glory, everything is beyond my imagination. So that is what is the actual understanding of Lord is. Okay, so Supreme Lord is somebody, if we say I understand Lord completely, then where is the question of him being supreme? If you know Lord completely, how can it be possible? Krishna says he himself, when he looks at himself in the mirror, I mean the tiles are so clean that when he sees his image, Krishna also gets, am I so beautiful? So Krishna also thinks, am I so beautiful? And such a person, if we say I know Krishna perfectly, how is it possible? So how can we say Krishna is unlimited? With a limited mind, how we can understand the unlimited Lord? So this is not possible. So as Gaudiya Vaishnava, we should understand our only we can understand Krishna only to the extent Krishna reveals himself to us, right? So this is the entire Varaha pastime. So how he killed Hiranyaksha. So Lord comes twice in this in the day of Brahma, Varaha, one as in the Swayambhuva Manvantara and one in Chakshusha Manvantara. So when he comes as Swayambhuva Manu, in the Manvantara he is Shweta, Varaha, white in color, and when he comes in Chakshusha he is red in color, I mean Neela, but then he is called Rakta Varaha because after killing Hiranyaksha, the entire blood fell on his body, because of which he became red. And yes, this is Varaha Deva ki Jai. So we should read such pastimes. So if you go home, the third canto from the chapter 13th till 19th, the entire description is there. Why he came, all we discussed. Jai Vijay, they becoming the three demons, and then Diti. So we have to remember this during Tri Sandhya. Or during Sandhya, we should not do four things, okay? Eating, sleeping, mating, and Swadhyaya, okay? But do all spiritual activities. So if you even feel hungry, wait for some time. If you feel like sleeping, wait for some time. Okay? Best is take Japamala. नहीं, Japamala से तो और ज़्यादा नींद आती है. So, yeah, best is call some devotee and start discussing Krishna Katha. Okay, so thank you so much. Shri Varaha Dev ki Jai. Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Hare Krishna.